following video is sponsored by Cygames. Try the game for free on Android, iOS or Steam. Download links are available in the video description. Hey guys, Furo here. Welcome back to another Shadowverse video. The new expansion Wonderland Dreams is nearly upon us, so I hope you're all ready for the last preview of the set before you can finally lay hands on some brand new cards. In today's video we will have a look at some of the most interesting silver cards of the set. Similar to the video about gold and legendary cards, this choice of cards is not necessarily reflecting the overall pure power level, but instead I've picked cards that I'm looking forward to try out because they have crazy ideas, fun interactions or awesome effects. So it might be that you will see a card that is only average, on the other hand has a very unique ability that is worth of a discussion. For the previous videos of the series, please check out the video description where you will find some links to those. Now let's start with the first silver card, which is called Old Man and Old Woman. With this card, Shadowverse is finally expanding its waifus to the old crowd. That should be great for some amazing growth in the next couple of weeks. In all seriousness though, the Old Man and Old Woman is an excellent new Swordcraft follower that costs you 3 play points and brings in 1 attack and 4 defense to the table. The stats alone are not that great, but have a look at the effect of the card. An old couple always comes in a double, so you can attack twice per turn. Swordcraft is one of the classes that features some heavy buffing cards, so attacking twice is a huge thing for them. Getting a few extra points of stats on the card might be a serious problem for your opponent if he's not able to answer the card instantly. With an evolution you're also adding Bane to it, so it is more or less always a 2-for-1 trait, in some scenarios even a 3-for-1. That's some pretty good value for a silver card. The only downside is of course that it can't storm to the face on the same turn. But with an additional storm effect, the cost of the card would also be increasing a bit, and Albert wouldn't be too happy about that as well. Nonetheless, it is a good addition for Swordcraft and most likely alongside the strong Shield of Flame spell, best silver card in the expansion for Swordcraft. Next up, let's have a look at Sirens Tears, which is a new Shadowcraft amulet with an ongoing effect. The tears are a sign of true desperation and pain, and so is the effect of the card. At the end of your turn you will destroy a random allied Shadowcraft follower if you also have at least one neutral follower in play. After that you will buff a random neutral follower by the amount of attack the Shadowcraft one had. This card is another support for the neutral theme that is pushed in Wonderland Dreams heavily. I'm still not entirely sure how good this one will be in the end, but the effect of Sirens Tears is nonetheless very interesting if played in the right deck. Shadowcraft as a class features a massive amount of interesting last words followers, so destroying them might benefit you quite a bit. On average you should not lose any stats through the effect because they will just shift it to a neutral follower, and additionally the amulet is ongoing, so you don't have to worry about the countdown here. Losing an Attendant of Night, a Mordecai or a Lurking Corpse is normally just helping you out, hence the card is really fitting in such a last word theme deck. One obstacle will be to find the right balance between Shadowcraft and neutral followers. Only with the right build and at least one of each on the board you are getting the value in. It will be a very fine line to make it work, but if someone can figure out the correct deck design, it might be a very powerful addition. My next silver proposal is a sick new Runecraft follower called Mr. Hanlon Shadow Mage. Stepping on the battlefield in the mid game, he not only has some nice stats and ward, but on top of that a very unique effect that should combo well with a decent amount of other Runecraft cards as well. Runecraft is all about spell boosting and the Shadow Mage is a king in this regard. When you play him, all your cards in hand are getting checked for the amount of spell boosts so far. Every card that was not boosted 5 times or more is then getting boosted to 5 instead. That means the more cards you have in your hand that are without a significant amount of boosts already, the more value can Mr. Heinlein produce. The card is of course not a Daria power level, but still can give out enough power to make it worthwhile, especially when you consider the very good amount of stats that the card is providing anyway. Getting 5 spell boosts out is also kind of a sweet spot for Daria itself, so it is possible for you to play Mr. Hanlon and then drop Daria alongside for an additional 4, refilling your hand and also getting a huge board at the same time. I'm more than sure that we will see some sort of Runecraft spell boost deck when the expansion is out, so keep an eye out for the Shadow Mage. The second to last card I will present you today is another amulet named the Wood of Brambles. Forestcraft is getting another fairy accelerator, but this time also providing you with an interesting damage increaser to push alongside. The Wood of Brambles has a countdown of 2, will give you 2 fairies, and also every unit on your board side, as well as every unit that you will play afterwards, the Clash ability to deal 1 damage to an enemy follower. Unfortunately, that is not working if you just go for your opponent's face, but nonetheless it is a card worth discussing. Forestcraft normally lacks some serious threats to fight for the board early on. Besides some Ancient Elf, most of the time you will have a bunch of small fairies or Elfshard Maze that you will drop on the field while your opponent is slowly trying to get a massive amount of army on his side. With the Wood of Brambles you can not only increase the damage output for trading quite a bit, but because it is a Clash ability, it is getting activated before any damage is getting dealt, so which allows you to kill units before they can deal damage back. There are a bunch of other fairy themed cards in Wonderland Dreams, so it might be that we will see a shift from the Rhino one-turn kill decks to a more fairy-oriented style deck that will use the Rhinos for some extra burst potential. The alternative is there, we will have to wait and see if it will be the true successor of the old Forestcraft midrange decks. For the last card of the day I have picked one of the strongest silver cards of the whole expansion. Of course, I'm talking about the new Bloodcraft follower Bandersnatch, a sick rush dino with an amazing enhanced effect. 5 playpoint unit might be okayish, but the extra effect is what's really pushing the card. For 7 instead of 5 playpoints, the Bandersnatch will get an additional last words effect that will get a follower from your deck that costs at least 6 playpoint into play. The follower will not instantly come into play, but you have to wait 1 turn. Nonetheless, it should be totally obvious what kind of great potential you might get here. In a tailored deck around this ability, you will only play units with 6 play points or more that have immediate effects when they will come into play from your deck. That can be through storm effects like a Zeus, that can be healing like a Lucifer, or some sort of defensive tool through wards or extra damage. The only bad pickups will obviously some sort of high cost fanfare units, so it might be worth it to cut those out completely or just go for some huge amount of stats that are coming on the board, but then you run into the trouble of not getting an attack out for 2 turns after. All in all, that's a powerful tool and I'm very excited to build a deck around him. And with that, we are at the end of today's Shadowverse video. I hope you're looking forward to the expansion as much as I do. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Would be very much appreciated and it helps the channel to keep continuing publishing content. With that guys, I'm out, have a good day and bye bye.